Welcome, everybody, live to the one-off, never been done before, born offside, transfer window, closing down, sale, official football is modern slavery, how much for Peter Crouch, auction bonanza special.
Thank you, Dave, and welcome, everyone. I'm here outside White Hart Lane, where Tottenham's transfer business is like their stadium, not even really existent.
And I'm here outside Harry Redknapp's car, waiting for him to sign Nico Kranjčar. While we do that, let's have a podcast.
And welcome, everybody, to another special edition. It's definitely an edition.
It's the most special edition ever. We are literally 28 minutes from the closing of the transfer window.
I don't know why I looked at my wrists there for a second. I never wear watches, so but it's the whole movement thing. 28 minutes away, mate.
We should have worn yellow ties. We should have worn yellow ties and adopted light Scottish accents for the whole thing.
I'm outside someone's stadium and nothing's happening. Oh, that's not Scottish.
It's not Scottish.
It did all right.
But mate, is it that you're Neil Warnock now?
It is.
Mate, is it me or do transfer windows get duller and duller? Like it used to be do you remember when Ashley Cole and someone did a swap on the last minute and they had to extend the deadline?
Mate, it's only been boring because Tottenham haven't been doing any business for the last 3 years now or something. I don't know. Do you remember what's their last transfer? Can you remember?
I know exactly who it is.
As a Spurs fan, Monsieur LeDave, fire away. Who was it?
It was Lucas Moura.
Lucas bloody Moura. Yeah, look at that. No, and it was January, wasn't it? Because it took some time for him to get. Yeah, a year ago. Well, you should celebrate, mate. Get some.
1 year transfer anniversary. Mate, I have a theory about Tottenham's lack of transfer activity, and it's this. Daniel Levy has breached FIFA Fair Foul Financial Play, whatever it's called. Do you know what I mean? Somehow.
Yeah, another one.
I'm not quite sure how, but he's breached it. And you see, what they do to you when you breach it is they give you a transfer embargo, don't they? So what Levy's going to do is he's going to I breached FFP. They're going to transfer embargo. He's going, I've already done it.
I'm there already. Guys, you're so late.
Check it. Last 2 windows. Time served. Already done. No need to impose a further embargo. I've already put this through one. You're well.
Let's see if that does come to fruition. Let's see if that doesn't. Either that or he knew that it was a condition. You may very well be right. No, that would have got out. There's nothing like that at all. There's no truth in that whatsoever. He's got plenty of cash. He's got loads of dosh. He's lying around underneath White Hart fucking bloody stadium. White Hart Lane's bloody there. It's under there. It just needs to dig, and then he'll be able to get all those beautiful little gold coins out of there and start spending some money, for God's sake.
Levy did a press conference about it. Daniel, why haven't you signed anyone? I'm waiting to launder the money. You see, the new stadium is a giant laundering scheme whereby I take illegally gathered South American cash dollars from drug sales and I plow them into false contracts for my stadium. This allows me to recycle the money, like Bielsa with a PowerPoint. Money comes.
You may laugh. You may laugh, but this is the truth. This is what's happening. And my butler has decided to go and hide all of that cash as well. So we're just running a little bit behind schedule. Patience, please. All right. Okay, the money will come. All right. Mate, it's an unbelievable time for us because obviously it is the transfer window deadline, and it is so weird because but by the time we release this and by the time it goes out, everything would have been done anyway. Everything would have been finished. So the first 28 minutes of our podcast are in effect really rather pointless. It's a pointless podcast in that sense because by the time it goes out, it goes out. But obviously the transfer window will be finished in the middle of this podcast, which at least that's going to be a bit.
No worries. I am keeping an eye on the BBC Sport website.
Good man.
You the live feed. Hey, do you want me highlights?
All right, let's kick off with the highlights so far. Come on, fire away.
Bum, 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 bum. I know I need like a 10 o'clock news, like dong. Like
yes.
Give me. No, I want like I want to. No, it's not fucking countdown. It's like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like Trevor McDonald on ITN. It's like a bong. Yeah. Give me a bong. I'll give you some news. Do it again.
You want me to give you a bong?
Yeah, give me a bong.
You're gonna give me some news in exchange for a bong.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Oh, I'll give it. Hang on. Wait. All right. No, I got it. Bong.
Peter Crouch has joined Burnley.
Bong.
Mate, that's all I've got. Peter Crouch joining Burnley.
Oh, come on. You're supposed to have like 6 or 7.
Okay. Okay, go on. Okay, there's this fella called Almiron has joined Newcastle.
Oh, fuck it. I don't give a shit about him. That's all right.
Give me another bong.
Crouch.
Give me another bong. Monaco midfielder Tillmans goes to Leicester. Bong me.
Bong.
Arsenal signed Suarez, but not that Suarez.
Bong.
Wolves sign a guy they'd already signed, but permanently now.
Bong.
Missy Batshuayi may be heading to Crystal Palace, where he will continue to smack balls into his own face.
That's got to be the highlight, man. I want him back in the Premier League just for that.
One more. Give me another bong.
Okay, bong.
Marouane Fellaini's gone to China.
Yay! Ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. This season has been, if anything, a cleansing period for the Premier League. First, Mark Hughes, beautiful. Secondly, Mourinho, who, all the blah, 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 all that crap and everything. Bit of a shame to see him go because of the comedy value. But Marouane Fellaini, he was clutching at straws, mate. So much so that he'd shaven all his hair. And he thought, right, this is obviously my last resort. This is my last resort. Gonna shave my hair off now, yeah. It's all gonna go, yeah. And it went. And now he's gone.
To China.
To
how much money?
Oh, mate, we never see these figures, do we? Or rarely do we see these, how much they've probably doubled his wage. He's, 31? Mate, it's like, I don't understand, China's just like the gold cesspit pool for Premier League football at the moment. You thought
how much money would it take to get you to go to China?
Really not half as much as what they're trying to pay some of these people.
£500.
Mate, I'm up for it, mate. For a short period of time, 6-month contract. 500 quid.
500 quid.
That's fair. I'll do it. That's right. Be an experience on my resume. Lovely.
On my resume.
Mate, we've obviously had some other transfers throughout the January transfer window. None other than our very own favourite and someone that we're really, really looking forward to. It's the Fata Morata. He's
there.
He's here.
Or as they've dubbed it, Higuain.
Higuain
in.
Yeah.
So when he leaves, it'll be Higuain out because he's fat.
It's so true, mate. It's we've been eulogizing about his fatness for some time now on this podcast.
I think he's like a modern day Mickey Quinn. Do you remember Mickey Quinn?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, no, I think that he's but I mean, he's not only had the worst season of his life so far, but he is obviously, once again, notoriously fat. And he also looks like he's just about to shoot someone in the head with a M16 rifle. I mean, I don't know. He just looks all mafia to me.
He does look like the disappointing second son of a mafia family, doesn't he? Like he does. He's like part Fredo, part Sonny, with zero Michael, and just 100% disappointment. Like like Vito is like Gonzalo, Gonzalo.
Such a disappointment to the family.
Such a disappointment. So fat.
Just terrible.
Mate, Gonzalo Higuain has scored a lot of goals. A lot of goals.
Yes.
Like he broke the series. Well. He broke this. I have still yet to see him play well. I've seen games where he's scored even important goals, but like I've never gone, oh, he's a bit good. Never. Like.
Well, he's a goal scorer. That's what he's made his money on. Is what he's made his name on, and he's always been there or thereabouts. But even for the Argentina national team, he's never been the out and out striker. He's always been that guy on the periphery. Obviously, he went for a world record fee a few seasons back, and I remember people then were raising eyebrows a little bit. But he came in and he's broken all sorts of records for scoring goals. And mate, going back onto the mafia thing, would you say that Sarri is also possibly a bit of a mafia godfather gone wrong a little bit? He's found himself in the wrong place, in the wrong country. He was down there in Sicily, very powerful, messed up, got thrown out the country, and has landed in Chelsea. And Sarri has obviously gone,
So what you're telling me is that probably the Napoli's mafia have got to him, and he's had to spend a year in London. So, like, it's like when Michael kills the policeman and has to go to Sicily, but almost in reverse, and with London, and probably the Abramovich thing. Mate, I'm saying it's entirely possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Sarri is here now, and he's trying his hardest. Although, of course, he seems to have lost the power to motivate people.
Yes,
I think he's.
And the best thing to motivate people, especially young, extremely affluent millionaires, many of whom have already won things. The best way to give these people motivation is to publicly tell them that they're difficult to motivate. And what that does is, like, so imagine you're like, I don't know, Cesar Azpilicueta, and you're already, financially made for life. You've got Champions League trophy, 3 or 4 Premier League trophies, and you can't be bothered. Like, you really just. But then one day, your boss, who's never won any kind of a trophy and earns half of what you do, comes out and says, it's really difficult to motivate you. That's when, instead of my rebellious arsehole streak kicks in, my oh my God, you're right. I should be easier to motivate. I will try hard. Mate, I give Sarri end of season tops. Like, I'm sorry, like, and it's not because I'm saying he deserves it. I think he's a good coach, and part of me would like to see him do well, not at Chelsea, but like for him to do well. But Chelsea get rid of managers that don't win anything. They do. I mean, they get rid of managers who win things. Like Conte won the Premier League and then the FA Cup in his 2 seasons, and he was like, "Nah, get him out. He complains too much."
Out, gone. Mourinho won truckloads of everything. Nah, he's gone. Yeah, it's true. Chelsea have been this revolving door for managers in the past 10 seasons or so. Yet, when you look at the record of trophies won since Abramovich came in, it's amazing, isn't it? It's really, really good. He's doing everything.
Well, it's a revolving door where they kind of revolve in with a trophy and revolve out with a paycheck.
That's it.
Back in.
Maybe Sarri thinks, because this whole motivation thing, because it's not only, maybe he needs to look at himself. He's not only not motivating his players, he's also not motivating anybody in his life. So when he goes home, his wife's disappointed, his kids are annoyed, and I'm not motivating you people enough. The washing up hasn't been done. There's dirt on the carpet. No one's cleaned it up or anything. You guys, you lack motivation. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hire Higuain. Bring him in. Damn it. He'll motivate you. You watch him.
It's a
I would
strange choice of individual to lend motivation to your team. He doesn't look all that
Does he even
motivated.
speak English? Oh, God. I don't know.
I don't think you need to speak English in the Chelsea. I mean, who are the English speakers in that team? Ross Barkley? That's a bit of a stretch. I don't think Barkley speaks all that great English, to be fair. But to be fair to them, it's working, isn't it? I mean, they've spent all that money on Higuain, come in, he's played up front, first game, and they've got spanked 4-0 at Bournemouth.
Mate, let's get on to that one very quickly, because they did. They got absolutely slabber-done. Oh, my goodness. If only they'd played Callum Hudson-Odoi right from the beginning. Or maybe played N'Golo Kante in his right position instead of right wing. Who knows? We really don't know. But, mate,
I think Sarri's going to play him in goal next. I think Sarri's going to go, fuck this.
You know how
I'm not playing Kante where I play Jorginho. I'm not doing it. You can go right wing. I don't want to go right wing, Gaffer. Go in goal then. I don't give a fuck.
Go in goal. Because the other guy that we got in goal, I can't even say his name properly. So I don't even know why they got him for me. Arrizabalaga.
Kept the keeper.
Kept the keeper. Yeah, mate. Kept the keeper's let 4 in, and he's let them in rather, I would say softly, but they were actually good goals. That Bournemouth scored, weren't they? They were all good, solid goals. Solid, they all got their feet behind those ones and just went for it. And it was a spanking of the likes that Chelsea have not received in many a year. Is that not right? I think it's
a long time since they conceded 4 in a football match, and they were in some levels unlucky. Arthur Burrets, a man know very well.
Yes, I do.
Personally, I believe he was at your son's bar mitzvah.
I'll just forget about that. Okay.
Sorry. Arthur, I mean, he makes a save from Kovacic in the first 5 minutes. Which is
fifth minute or something? Yeah.
World-class save. Like,
it is.
It's an exceptionally good save.
He doesn't even look human. It's beautiful. Absolutely. And then they go on, and you would expect an onslaught, really, from Chelsea. And I think you're right. And go on, because they didn't play too badly, really, did they? So, yeah.
Well, they did second half because they let 4 in.
Well, second half, okay, fair enough.
It's very difficult to play well and let 4 in the second half.
Mate, I'll tell you what. Look, why don't we go for a little bit of a breather before we start, chatting about all of the teams, because what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to preview this weekend's Premier League matches. We're going to review very quickly what has happened in the last 10 days or so as well. Not even 10 days. I think we had a podcast about 6 days ago. So with that as well, and we will review, because there's only 10 minutes until the end of the transfer window. So we'll make sure that we keep an eye on that. We'll be back very, very shortly.
Oh God. These two idiots have decided to start a video version of their now famous Born Offside podcast. The quicker this is over, the better. Let's just move on to part 2 and hope for the best.
Welcome back, ladies and jelly spoons, to part 2 of the Born Offside podcast. Please remember to, what do people have to do, Dave? They need to subscribe to our podcasts through any of the platforms that you wish to subscribe to them on. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and become our friends
on Twitter. And if you wish to follow us on Snapchat, please create us an account, because we don't have one.
Thank you. That'd be nice. Bloody Snapchat. Right. Let's get on to a little bit of the Premier League. Mate.
Transfer news.
Gallo, come on then. Fire away. What's going on?
You remember Will Grigg?
How could you forget a man of such amazing potency, scoring against Manchester City, effectively knocking him out of the cup last season, and with his own beautiful theme tune? What's happening with him?
The subject of the best soccer chant, perhaps of all time.
Ever.
Will Griggs on fire.
He's staying at Wigan.
Defence is terrified. No, he's on his way to Sunderland for £4 million.
What's going on there? Why is he moving backwards in life? I don't get that. What's the point?
I don't know. I just wanted to sing Will Griggs on fire. Your defense is terrified. That's all I wanted to do out of that. Will
All right,
Griggs on fire. All
right, okay.
Mate,
in other news as well, for this one, there's an interesting one here that I'll just point out as well. Tielemans coming in on a loan deal. What do you think of that one? Yes, Yuri, not me, Yuri. Coming in to Leicester on a loan deal till the end of the season, with Silva moving the other way. Poor Silva.
Which Silva?
It doesn't pay. Take your pick, whichever one you wish to. He's a bushy. Frank.
John Silva. Long John Silva. That's who they've signed.
Long John Silva. That'll work.
Yes, sure. We'll give you our promising Belgian international, but we want something in return. What do you want? Have you got a Silva? Yeah, I think we've got one
somewhere
on the back.
All right, Ranieri. Oh no, you're not here anymore. Kitman. Got a Silva around the back there. Yeah, boss. All right, bring him over. We've got Silva apparently. We got one.
Wasn't Leicester Silva the Silva that was 17 seconds too late in the last transfer window?
Yeah, 7, 6, something like that, something stupid like that. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I feel really bad for him, and I feel very sorry because Silva is he obviously playing for Sporting Lisbon, which is my team, back in Portugal, and he was really good, and he came for a big 20-odd million pounds, and there was something like it was 14 seconds late, so he couldn't play for the next 6 months. Obviously lost a lot of his fitness levels. His fitness levels went down quite a lot. But you know what? He's a very, very good footballer. The likes of comparable to Andre Gomez for Everton as well. He's similar kind of thing, a little bit more defensive. And he's a transition player from defense to attack and plays very, very well. And I think under Leonardo Jardim, once the reappointed Monsieur Jardim, which in Portuguese means garden, by the way. Leonard Garden is his name. So the bush is going into the garden. It's going to be... Anyway, I think he'll be a very, very good signing. Tielemans, however, I must admit, I haven't seen too much of him. He looks like a very young, direct attacking midfielder who from what I have seen of him, and he's good on the ball. But is he really what Leicester need right now? Or is it?
What do Leicester need? Do we care about Leicester? Leicester in the middle of the table.
All right, fair enough. Good kick up the backside. Although we are very happy at the way Leicester performed at Anfield. Liverpool won, Leicester City won.
Old Slab-Head's back, and he's fouling people and he's scoring goals, and pub football is back. Oh, mate.
He's been dormant for a little while, hasn't he?
So, he had an injury or something, didn't he? Well, and by injury, we mean hangover. He's had a long hangover. He's been out, bless him. But Slab-Head is back. Oh, mate, it is so nice to see him. Brings back these memories of the summer. Oh, Slab-Head leaning on the sides of places, chatting up the ladies, knocking an occasional goal. Starting a penalty box conga session. Oh, love him. Mate, I think he's my favourite non-Tottenham player by quite some distance. Love a bit of Slab-Head.
Mate, he's not my favourite player because obviously he scored that last-minute equaliser at St Mary's against Southampton a little bit earlier in the season. Although that did assist to put an extra peg into the now Mark Hughes coffin, which I think, quite frankly, is obviously a very joyous moment.
You do love him because, and even that goal,
exactly. Yeah,
Even
yeah.
that goal, he scored it. He was like out of control of his own body as he hit it. And it just flew in the corner. Oh, mate, loves me a
It's
bit.
true.
Loves me a bit.
I think there was 2 nutmegs on the way as well, but it was from way out and from a good sort of 25 yards out, just outside the box. So you would have thought that keeper would have been able to get down and save it, but no, he obviously didn't want Hughes to stay in there either. So well done. Slab-Head is back, mate. It was quite the match, really, wasn't it? Because after the debacle of what happened at Manchester City's
Mate, I feel
ground,
like we should start the story there. No, we should start the story there, don't we? I mean, like, if I were to tell you, you're a Newcastle United follower, and you're typically watching Newcastle United games from behind whatever object you like to hide behind. Peter Crouch, for example, it's probably a post of some variety. But you're typically, and like Manchester City, who I think have scored since their last loss. I think they were like they'd won 7 or 8 in a row with an aggregate of like 31 goals to nothing. Right? And you're
something ridiculous like that.
Newcastle United, you must be thinking, "Oh God, this is horrible." And then within 24 seconds, Sergio Aguero scores. And and you must privately be thinking, as a Newcastle United fan, there in the stadium in the freezing fucking cold, you must be thinking, I'll settle for 8. If it's only 8, that'll be all right. But
I'll go home and I won't be crying.
But then, somehow, some way, somewhere, Newcastle United scored 2. I mean, and the first goal that they scored, the Salomon Rondon.
Salmon, yes. Ronnie the Salmon.
It's an awful goal. It's just it's one of those goals. Even when you're watching the super slow mo replay, you go, "How's that gone in?"
Like, you know what?
It's
because
weird.
I don't really know because like. I think I was watching. I can't remember if I was watching. I don't think I actually watched this full match. I just watched the highlights, and the commentator was actually saying, "What an amazing goal that is!" Because he is.
It's just amazing that it existed. The very fact that Newcastle United managed to score a goal at home to Manchester City, it was just like. That's just. I am amazed.
It made me look at the game at the goal in a slightly different light, I guess, because what happens is, I mean, what you have to give credit to the Salmon for is for being able to keep his eye on the ball. The ball comes over; it's coming over his shoulder, over on the right. The technique to do what he's doing. There's only one movement that you can do to be able to score this goal and to get it on target and to win it. So you have to keep your eye on the ball. You have to keep focused. And the thing is, he's got like 15 million players around him, right? And he's got I forget who the there's actually a Newcastle player,
Atsu,
and I'm sorry,
I believe.
is it Atsu? Who's
Atsu.
pretty much right on top of him when he's about to take the shot.
Tiny.
He is tiny, so he manages to get it around. But he's there nonetheless. And there's a couple of Man City players, and Edison is rushing out towards him. So he has to keep his composure and he has to keep his head. So in a weird way, it actually is a very well taken goal because the Salmon has to stay focused on his job, which is to basically get a good contact on the ball, and he gets a good enough contact for it to go past Edison, and then he slides off into the, I want to say sunset, but he doesn't. He runs off to the corner flag and slides along, but then loses his not his footing, but his kneeing, and everybody gives him a pylon. And when I mean pylon, I don't mean a huge electrical post to give him some kind of shock. I just mean everyone piles on him.
Yes.
I thought that was a very good goal.
And then, it was a weird goal. I don't want to call it a bad goal. It was a weird goal. And then Newcastle get a penalty, and it was a penalty, and they managed to win. And it's just weird that Manchester City, if they lose this title, they've slipped up at home to Palace, and then to Leicester and Newcastle. I mean, their fourth game they lost with Chelsea away, which is forgivable. But the other three is just bizarre. It's weird.
It is. And I think Guardiola is not happy. He's not a happy chappy at the moment, for sure, because he certainly seems to be having some kinds of issues at the moment with, well, like Sarri motivating his team, obviously, because it seems to me that there's some kind of motivational issue at the moment, and I think he's come out after the match as well and said, we're just not performing. We're just not doing the things that we need to be doing very well. And he looks disinterested whilst during the match itself, and he just looks like he's not. He's not on the ball. He's not got his finger on the buzzer. And if he's not careful, Liverpool are going to play later against Leicester, and they're going to shoot off and be 7 points ahead. So it's.
But that was until Slab-Head. Slab-Head turns up.
Slab-Head. And the snow as well. I noticed Klopp complaining a little bit about the snow as well, which it always annoys me a little bit when managers do this, when they say, well, the conditions were really bad. The conditions are the same for both teams, all right? So that's the first thing.
No, Klopp's right. It was unfair because Slab-Head woke up in the morning, saw the snow and went, let's be having it, lads. I fancy it.
You know when it snows, when it's really, really cold outside and you've had a bit of a skinfall the night before, and if it's snowing outside, the hangover doesn't seem so bad anymore. It's almost like you sober up a little bit. I reckon maybe that's what's happened. Slab-Head's woken up. It's got on the bus.
I hate playing football in the cold. You know when you play football in the freezing cold, you're playing shorts, and you get someone smacks a ball against your thigh.
Oh,
thigh vibrates for like the rest of the game, and it's like sore on the inside. Harry Maguire lives for that. He lives for it.
All right. Or the goalkeeper takes you're playing in midfield, goalkeeper takes a goal kick. It's a pretty good one, and you head it. Ball on inside of thigh in screaming cold. That's a stinger. That's a stinger.
It's horrible.
But mate, it was really rather unbelievable, wasn't it? Because we've got this whole sort of snow thing keeps getting me, quite frankly, because it is the same anywhere you go, and it's not like Liverpool didn't start well. Within 3 minutes they were ahead with a very nicely taken goal by ex-Southampton Sadio Mane, who I thought had a pretty good game all round, but they just let it all go, didn't they? Like 2 minutes into stoppage time, into the end of the first half, and who other than Monsieur Le Slab shows up and does the dirty on Liverpool, hauling them back. 5 points now is only the difference at the top, and mate, we've got a title race. We've got one.
Mate, it's a proper race, and there's like two teams floundering all over the place.
They are, mate. Do you think Liverpool can do it? Do you think?
I think they really should. Like, I mean, they really should do it. I don't know if they will, but I think they. I mean, they don't have any. They've played City twice already, so.
Yep. They got that one out the way.
5 points means no. I would have said I make Liverpool slight favourites to win it. But
you think so?
It's a fun title race when they're both messing up. That's
true.
If we've got two nervous horses going for that line, it's a pile of fun. Or if we've got like two horses like who've confident in both, but I want them to stay in reasonable distance of each other, because what we love to see is pressure, and then ultimately someone caving to pressure. Like,
are you making reference to the Demba Ba moment?
Oh, mate, not enough people refer to it as the Demba Ba moment. Everyone calls it the Stevie G slip, and they should be calling it the Demba Ba moment.
We've discussed it on this podcast already. We're hoping that Pep picks up the phone to Demba and because he knows him, he's on first name terms with it. Demba, are you busy? We need you to come and sit on the subs bench here at Manchester City. So I don't know why he sounds like me for a second there, but yeah, it's the Demba Ba moment. Yep, transfer news. Here we go.
Windows closed. Nothing's happened.
Oh, right. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, it's
nothing
done.
else has happened. All right, fair enough. Mate, it's going to be the highlight is obviously Peter Crouch, definitely. Sam Vokes goes to Stoke. I think nobody cares at all. No, yeah. But Peter Crouch is back. Now that is
Mate, I'm sorry, I do love Crouchy, and that is superb news. But when your transfer window highlight is the return of a 38-year-old beanpole who, when he turns sideways, you can't see where he's gone. Like, it's
that's when you know things are dire. Things are dire. Absolutely. Mate, there was some good news for Newcastle. They broke their record, their transfer record for the first time in 14 years since Michael Owen went to them. So £20 million for a guy that I'm sure nobody's ever heard of as well. So
I suspect that Rafa Benitez has bought that for himself.
It's like a little present.
He's just gone, fuck it, I'll buy one. What can I get? I got about 20 mil. Get me that fella.
That one over there. It's going to come out, isn't it? Like, Ashley's going to go, what? Like, it wasn't me. I didn't buy this guy. Who bought him? I don't know.
Benitez is like, he's mine. He's got like he plays in the Newcastle kit with a little Rafa Benitez
logo on it. Rafa Benitez direct. Yeah.
Or just on the back, paid for by Rafa Benitez.
Mate, in 6 months, when I leave this club, he's coming with me. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's got him on a leash. And I'm sure John Joe Shelby will have something to say about him arriving at the ground. All right, okay, mate. Away from transfers, let's go on to the Premier League, which is what we're talking about. We've got this title race on at the moment, which is really rather fascinating. For me, it's all going to happen in the next sort of few weeks when the Champions League kicks off, because we've got on the 19th of February we've got Liverpool against Bayern Munich, which
tasty.
It's absolutely fantastic. It should be a wonderful, wonderful match. Mate, Liverpool must surely be looking at that, thinking, this is an amazing opportunity, because Bayern Munich are not exactly doing brilliantly. They're yes, they're an amazing team. Yes, they can come along and they can produce something out of nothing. But they've got old players, and anything could happen really with that one. Surely they must be looking at that very, very seriously. Or are they focusing much more on the Premier League at the moment? And is there a fear that if they do decide to start paying more attention to the Champions League, that they're going to mess up in the Premier League? What do you think?
I think Klopp won't be distraught if they go out to Munich.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's not a bit. I mean, Munich don't have anything else to play for. Well, they could come back in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, they're only 5 points behind or something, or 6.
Yeah, but I don't know. You would fancy Dortmund to probably go on and win.
Oh no, I don't think so.
No,
come
you
on,
think they're going to fall apart?
Yeah, it's a bit like saying someone else other than Celtic are going to win in the Scottish Premier League.
It's like hoping for Juve to slip up, and yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. It's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like PSG. Someone going to beat them? Don't think so. Come on. But anyway, there is more of a chance of Dortmund obviously beating Bayern Munich than any of those other situations that we were just talking about just now. But do go on. You think that if Klopp loses against Munich, then he's going to be secretly, possibly happy?
Yeah, kind of a little bit happy, not distraught. Who've City got?
City have got Schalke, FC Schalke 04.
0-4 is really the best that Schalke can hope for in this game. Like, really.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, City are already through. Like, they haven't even...
through to the quarters. Yep.
Manchester City can really start thinking about their hotel for the quarterfinal. Really, it's. I would have thought so. I mean, I think City are probably favourites for that competition. Like, because Juve were looking strong, but have floundered in recent weeks, and have finally lost games and suffered some injuries. With Bonucci's out for a bit, isn't he? And they sold the Madavicchia. Is it Madavicchia? You know what I mean? Benatia.
Oh yes, yeah.
Wow, I just named a player from like the 1998 Iran team.
You're just shooting them out there.
Classic player though.
Yes.
Look him up. So no, I don't think they'll be all too disappointed. And I think City want to win the Champions League more than they want to win the league. If you went to Sheikh El Mansour, what's his face, and went, you have one or the other, he'll go,
yep,
Champions League, please.
Yeah, and, absolutely. No, that's what he's been plotting for quite a while. So no, I think yeah, for sure, it's something that. It's probably one of the only ways that both managers will be happy this season, isn't it? That Liverpool win the Premier League and that Man City win the Champions League for sure. If Man City win both, I want to see Klopp's face at the end of it. I really do. I want to see Klopp's face.
I like Jurgen Klopp. We've had this discussion.
I know you
personally.
do. Yes,
we've had this conversation. Neither of us have any particular love for Liverpool, and I think their fans will be insufferable should they win. But Jurgen Klopp,
so annoying.
Jurgen Klopp, and he's like, did you listen to his comments about Brexit? Like, he just
I did not. What?
He just fixed it. He was like, when you voted to leave, it was stupid, and you shouldn't do it. like that was more or less, and like you listen to it, and you went, he's right. He's right. He's actually. Can we have him in charge instead of that May woman? Is that legal? Will Liverpool allow us to do that?
Teresa, you're out. Go on, Klopp.
Job swap.
Come in, Jurgen, and you can bring in your backroom staff as well, like whoever it is that you wish to bring with you. You can just come for it. We want a more direct style and approach this time. Aggressive, high pressure. All right, and just go into the Commons and sort it all out, please, if you don't mind. Thank you, Jurgen.
With Virgil van Dijk.
With Virgil van Dijk, who, in my opinion, was at fault. Can we just put a full stop on this Liverpool-Leicester game and move on to other ones? But in my opinion, was at fault for Leicester's goal, for Slab-Head's goal. He was the one who was marking him on the back post. He was the one.
You can't mark Slab-Head.
Slab-Head
is unmarkable.
On the contrary. No, on the contrary, he's so fucking big. If he was Peter Crouch turning sideways in the wind, then fine. But this guy, he's not hard to miss. He's a fucking bus stop.
When you see that big, shiny, slabby head coming towards you, you just get out the way.
Mate, Virgil van Dijk was at fault for that one. And the thing is, you know what? And I'm going to put it out here straight away. On the record, when he was at Southampton, I noticed something about him which really annoyed me, and that is that he is a class 1 whinger, not a ginger. All right, he's a whinger. All right, don't worry, you're okay. You'll be all right. Now he whines so much and he whinges so much, and if you watch him carefully, when the chips are down, when everything is going against you, this guy, he nothing's his fault. Nothing is ever his fault. It's always somebody else's fault, and he's always the first to turn on his teammates and point the finger at blame.
There have been a great many very successful football players who've been incredible whingers. Gary Neville, Roy Keane.
Fair enough.
That entire Manchester United treble-winning team were a whole bunch of bloody whingers, except for Paul
but that was because Ferguson trained them to be whingers. The
Lampard,
Ferguson thing.
Terry, Ashley Cole, epic whinging ability. Dennis Bergkamp also liked to whinge.
Oh, he did, I guess so. This guy, I'm just telling you right out. and just warning you, because it's gonna. I think he's not undoubtedly he's a very, very good football player, but I do think he's prone to a good few mistakes. He's made less mistakes since he's moved up to Liverpool because he's with a more compact and confident team that doesn't put him under as much pressure as he was when he was at Southampton. At Southampton, I saw a lot of faults with this guy. The fact that he didn't even, he put his transfer request in and didn't even train with the first team and refused to do this and refused to do that. He is a Class A whinger. And I tell you what, Liverpool fans, be wary of this guy. You think he's your top guy and your top dog. Yes, he's a good, rock-solid defender, but there's a mistake right there. Slab-Head on the back of him. You guys go and watch, and then go and watch his face as well.
For failing to get out of the way of the Slabby-Head.
I just hate someone who doesn't own up to their own mistakes. That's all.
Mate,
and that's something that Van Dijk?
It's
Van
not
Dijk.
It's not a mistake. Harry Maguire is unmarkable. But you can't mark a conga.
All right.
You can't mark a one-man conga.
Do you think that's what he was saying when he turned around and looked at because he was looking at the linesman for something? He went to the linesman and went, "Is that what just happened there? Was that a one-man conga?"
He's run over to like Slabber's run over to him and gone, "Pints later." Bardi's house.
He's leaned over the banister to his girlfriend or his sister, whoever it is. I still don't know. Sweetheart, do you see that? Yeah, that's what it's all about. I know I've been out for 6 months, but I'm back.
Drinks later, Jamie's house.
It's always Jamie's house.
Always.
Ratsky. All right. Mate, let's move on to Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, mate, Spurs, what's going on with them lot? Hey, like no transfers in summer, no transfers in January, 3 defeats out of their last 4 games, knocked out of 2 cups, effectively dumping all hopes of any cups into the rubbish bin for the season. Then, all of a sudden, Sonny comes back. Their little South Korean mojo man pretty much wins the game in the latest of minutos for them. And now, if they beat Newcastle at lunch on Saturday, they could be in 2nd place, chasing down Liverpool for the title.
Mate, what a lovely summation of exactly what happened. This was the game.
If you're a diehard Tottenham fan, what are you thinking right now? I don't know. Tell me what you think.
I'm thinking that we should be able to beat Newcastle. Like,
really?
This really was the game of Fernando Llorente. Like, it was.
Or Fernando, because clearly he's
missed
having a lot of difficulty, doesn't he?
Absolute sitter. Like, and you know that's a cliche, right? You've missed a sitter, but this one he literally would have scored had he sat down, because in the process of sitting down, the ball would have just lightly touched him and gone in, rather than whatever the fuck immediate. Oh my, was bad. And
it was pretty bad.
He pops up with a lovely header, that
was very nice.
Like just guided into the corner. It was a strange, very difficult game. Tottenham more or less won it on emotion. I think the only player who I've been watching for Tottenham in recent weeks who's really come out with consistent credit and is playing well is little Harry Winks. And I'm really pleased for him. I'm really pleased for him because he started getting mouthy with people. And that for me is the sign of maturity. Like he was giving Troy Deeney some stick in the Watford game. And
mate,
we all know
that takes guts, yeah.
Well, and Deeney's a banter merchant. He loves it. I think Deeney actually loves the bants more than he loves the footballs or the scoring goals. I think he just likes to whisper things in centre half's ears, like "You're fucking shit." Oh, Troy Deeney.
Mate, he does. He's you know me and Deeney. I'm a bit of a look.
You're
mate,
a Deeney
he's because I think he's a meanie, Deeney. So I do.
No
Dini.
weenie.
I think he's a weenie. It could. I don't know if he's got a weenie or not. He might do. But he's probably got a very. Yeah, maybe he does have a weenie one for Dini. Anyway, since that time with was it with Alan, Joe Allen? You know, when he pretty much lost it and showed the world that he is actually an undercover, not undercover, but underground sociopath. He is absolutely out there, and he's just waiting to explode and shoot someone. Now, or worse, worse than shoot someone. Yeah, you start
No,
imagining it.
there are worse.
There are worse. It's true. I think he is. He's just a little bit off center, and I'm not a big fan of him. However, this season I've been listening to some of his exploits on rival podcasts, and also been sort of just keeping up to date with stuff that he's doing, and he's proving to be a little bit better. I'm wondering whether or not he's been seeing someone. I don't think so, but who knows on that one. But mate, it was really quite the performance. I'm not sure. I can't think of many players that came to the Premier League and have mustered as much sympathy as Llorente. Tottenham have been really good at getting those players. Soldado, I believe, was one a little while back. But Diego Forlan is one that springs to mind. When you just want them to score because they, it's through no lack of endeavour that they get in there. He's now got his chance. Harry Kane's out. It's time to get right stuck into it and show not only Poch, not only Tottenham, but the rest of the Premier League that this is where you belong. And I'm really, I am really, really happy for him, because it was a very well taken goal. And when you see what happened in the last few matches for Tottenham and his glaring misses, not only against Palace, if I'm much mistaken, but also his own goal against
Fulham.
Was it Fulham? Yes. It's just it's lovely. I'm really happy, and you know how much I love Tottenham. So it's more than that, mate. Thanks. So I'm really happy for Llorente, and I think it's really, really good. You've got Son back, you've got Llorente back. How long till you must be counting the days till Kane and Ali and it's really just Kane and Ali, isn't it? Who are out injured, the main ones, because Eriksen is obviously still in there. But mate, isn't it weird that all this shit is happening? It is an absolute shitstorm. Pochettino's come out and said that it's nice to see people smiling again. And you're in third, and by lunchtime you could be in second, within 4 points of Liverpool. I mean, it's just not 4. Sorry. Yes, 4. You could be within 4 points of Liverpool if you beat Newcastle. So.
Yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Jason attempting math.
I'm looking at the table in front of me going, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah. Well, you and I, we're renowned for not knowing much about mathematics, and we're not very good at maths. Yeah, mate. I mean, you must. I think as a Tottenham fans must be feeling quite good at this moment in time. Really? Are you?
I mean,
Has it been the biggest roller coaster season of the last 10 years or something?
I don't know. It's not really, because there's not really any, like you said, especially now, there's not really any danger of us winning a trophy or anything. We don't live on our own house. We're living in someone else's house. It's far too big for us. We don't like it there anymore. People keep telling us our house is ready to move into, but it's not. Yeah, I know it's a weird season. I honestly would kind of like to get it out the way with and kind of get it done and over. And now that I know Champions League, we might sneak past Dortmund, but without Harry, it's going to be very hard. And
you might sneak past Tottenham. Did you say what?
Sneak past Dortmund.
Dortmund, sorry. Tottenham. Yeah, you could do. You could very well do. Well, mate, in the Premier League, you've got again, if you win on Saturday, then if Tottenham win on Saturday, then they're 10 points clear of Arsenal in fourth place as well. So cementing a top four spot in the Premier League for next year's Champions League is obviously extremely important with the move into the new stadium. We're going to assume
if it happens.
Well, we're going to assume that it moves to the new stadium is not happening this season, is it? I mean, it has been delayed and delayed.
It's almost pointless now.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the point coming in March or April? But it is really penciled, isn't it? It is actually going to be happening. It's
well, there's a financial benefit to it because Wembley costs us money to live in. So there's a financial benefit to it. And I guess if there's a big game, like if we do get past Dortmund and, I don't know, draw someone like, I don't know, Juve again or Madrid or someone, or someone like that, yeah, maybe then you, like when you kind of have a signature first game, then that might be worth it. But otherwise, kind of.
All right. Well, good luck to you, you freaks. Hate you all. Good stuff. Mate, let's take a short break. And when we come back, let's wrap up the rest of the Premier League and also preview very quickly the matches. And then we'll finish. I promise. We really will.
All right.
And I thought it was over. But there's more. At least if Will Griggs was on fire, we'd all be rushing for the floodgates. Ha. See what I did there? I'm not just any old voice synthesizing machine, you know?
Welcome back, ladies and jelly spoons, for part 3, the final installment in our Born Offside podcast. We will very, very quickly go over some of the incidents from last week, but mostly just preview this weekend's Premier League action. Mate, I just a couple of quick words. Manchester United 2, Burnley 2. Burnley 2-0 up. Man United coming back in almost Alex Ferguson-esque way. Solskjaer, however, dropping his first points as Manchester United manager. Is this a horrible result for you?
No, this is actually demonstration of the fact that Solskjaer has built some resilience into that team. It's obviously not great to go 2-0 down, but having gone 2-0 down with only 4 minutes left in the game and to be able to turn that around and get a point out of it, like you said, Ferguson-esque, and demonstration of the fact that if you don't put, I think Beyonce said it best when she said, if you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. And Manchester United need to put a ring on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and sign him up for the manager's job. So
and stop all this Pochettino roller coaster merry-go-round crap.
Who? I have no particular bias opinion related to Tottenham Hotspur's current manager. All I know is that Queen Bee said it best when she said, all your things in a book. No, hang on, that's the wrong Beyonce song.
Stop it with your Beyoncés. That's enough. Thank you very much for that one. Mate, Manuel Pellegrini took his West Ham United team up to the Midlands to face an informed Wolves, but would have thought that he would have been able to get at least a slightly better result after the dismal FA Cup displays of last week. Mate, they got spanked 3-0. How about that?
They did. They're rubbish. They were good for a little bit, weren't they? And Felipe Anderson looks all good and lovely and stuff. And then Andy Carroll comes back, and it seems to have put everybody off.
Mate, can you stop talking with a smirk, please? Can you?
Sorry.
Stop.
Andy Carroll has also returned at the same time. I feel for West Ham fans who are strong and faithful and loyal and deserve more. Manuel Pellegrini is an excellent coach, and I believe he'll get it right. And in many ways, I hope that they do. Here we go.
In the words of one fan who famously went on the YouTubes in midweek in a video that we both watched, it's a fucking disgrace, mate.
It's a fucking disgrace. I feel sick to my fucking stomach.
Oh, mate, I really fucking do. Do you know what I mean? These lot, They don't deserve to wear the shirt. They don't. All right. Anyway, try and grab that video if you can. The other results were all extremely boring. Arsenal 2, Cardiff 1, Fulham. Huddersfield 0, Everton 1. But there was one very interesting football match, mate. Brighton and the Hoves Albanians went to Craven Cottage and went 2-0 up before what happened?
Well, they conceded 4. Mitro, of course, got a couple.
Of course.
Love a bit of Mitro. And then former Southampton player, Callum Chambers it was, who kicked the whole thing off.
I mean, you know what? I've always loved that guy. I've always loved. Please come back. All right. No, he was awesome for Southampton. Absolutely awesome for Southampton. And then it was a summer where we lost players like Lallana and Lambert and Lovren, and Limbo.
And that was just the L's.
That was just the L's. And then for some weird reason, I think it was pretty much on transfer deadline day, we lost Chambers to Arsenal for like 13 million or something. And people were sort of looking at that. And I remember being most pissed off out of all of those transfers that happened that summer, which were pretty bad. I was most pissed off about that particular one. So that was very, very annoying. And not fun for anyone. Mate, final game was Southampton 1, Crystal Palace 1, and I'll just finish that one up for you. Feel bad for poor old Zaha because he did get a good old spanking down at St. Mary's. Mate, we kicked the living shit out of that kid. Poor guy. I mean, we went to town on his ass. We did not stop all game. I don't know if you watched it or not.
Mate, I have absolutely no sympathy for Wilfred Zaha. I mean, it's totally acceptable that your flair player should be kicked to shit. Like, that is a known thing that should be acceptable. But should that player then have the temerity to get up and place one of his hands against another one of his hands in a slightly sarcastic, aggressive... Oh, mate, that's a yellow card right there. Like, I mean, the number of people who've suffered serious mental harm from a sarcastic applause, I mean, it's in the millions now. Whereas I don't think anyone's ever suffered from a 2-footed lunge across hard, icy cold. Like, no sympathy, mate, no sympathy for Wilf, none.
I'm not sure what Warnock would say about that. Is a sarcastic clap life endangering?
Yes.
Obviously, he must be thinking that it is. Yes, and so therefore, it's justified that he got a red card for it. I'm not sure when exactly it was instated that when you sarcastically clap to a referee's decision that you get booked for it. It wasn't that long ago, was it? Because it was.
I remember Rooney do it? I feel like Rooney did it in a Champions League game at somewhere like Villarreal or something, and then I think the ref was like, "Oh, you're annoying. Off you go."
Off you go. See you later, Tiger. It was. It's just a very strange thing. Like, I having watched that match, obviously myself, I did feel there were a very large number of decisions, and Hodgson said it after the game as well, that did not go Zaha's way, and the thing was the flashpoint with James Ward-Prowse at the end wasn't even that much of a big one. I think Zaha had he'd been rubbed up the wrong way, and it wasn't by his girlfriend. So I don't think he was particularly enjoying that rubbing up. And we gave him a good spanking, good kick in. He pushed James Ward-Prowse in the chest, got a yellow card, and then within seconds sarcastically applauded the ref's decision for giving him a yellow card with a sarcastic applause, and therefore hence got a yellow card, a second yellow card for the sarcastic applause, and got red carded. Off he went. So there he goes. 1-1 was the final result, and I think, to be honest, Southampton fans should be quite thankful, because it was actually a very bad display. Crystal Palace did deserve to win that game, but such is football. A very quick preview. Let's go into the Premier League for the weekend. Mate, we'll start off with Saturday's games. We've got Tottenham versus Newcastle. Tell me, what do you think is going to be happening here? Give me a score.
1-0, a Fernando Llorente
Overhead kick.
No. I feel like Ericsson's going to smack it against the bar, and it's going to hit Llorente on the back of the head and fall in. That's
Something like that.
yeah, something in that region.
All right. But a win nonetheless for the Spursies, even though Newcastle managed to, knock Man City off their perch in the last game.
No, we should be okay.
It was a one-off. All right. Brighton Hove and the Albanians. It sounds like a band, doesn't it? Are playing Watford. What do we give? What do we give that?
1-1.
1-1. Troy Deeney getting strong in there, mate. Burnley at home against Southampton.
Ooh.
Now, what do you think there?
Burnley are kind of a little bit back to form. Mate, I don't know about goals, but I see cards. Lots of cards.
Mate, we're not tarotting here, all right? We're not. I see cards.
I see
Something's
the
going on.
0-0.
Come on then. Oh,
0-0.
you bloody! That's bloody. All right, 0-0 it is. Chelsea versus Huddersfield.
Mate, I'll take that bet that I took with Uruguay versus Portugal, and I'll tell you now that I believe Burnley Southampton will have more red cards than it has goals.
All right, okay. I think it's a bit of a yeah. Oh, I think okay, good. More red cards than goals. I'll write that down here. There you go. Chelsea versus Huddersfield Town, please.
Oh, Chelsea will win because Huddersfield.
Okay, you think so?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. They'll come back into it.
That's the best possible game for Sarri to have, really, because
it's very true. Yes. So I don't have to motivate my players for this game, which is good. I'm sick of trying to motivate them. It's just Crystal Palace, mate. Crystal Palace versus Fulham. We've got a London derby on here. What do we reckon?
A 6-pointer in classical style.
Yes.
I privately fancy Fulham to get something out of that because Palace have this tendency to lose against the teams in and around them, don't they? So I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. Mitro.
Wow. At Selhurst, it's always the Mitro.
Yeah.
Mate, a podcast does not go by without the words Mitro coming out of one of either one of your or my mouths. Mate, Everton up at Goodison against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Wolves to continue. It's a Portuguese derby with Silva versus Nuno. But I fancy Wolves to go there and win kind of comfortable. 2-0.
2-0, yeah.
Ruben Neves blockbuster. I fancy Wolves for that one.
Ruben Neves. And the late kickoff on the Saturday afternoon is Cardiff City against Bournemouth.
I know. I feel that the emotional energy that Cardiff are going to have is going to give them a 1-0 win, and I think Bournemouth are also at their worst when they've just had a good result.
Good call, mate. Let's finish off with the pulsating matches that are on Sunday. Leicester versus Man City. We'll start with the early kickoff. Man United with the early kickoff there at the King Power Stadium. It's not enough that they want to call it a power stadium. They want to put the word King in front of it as well. What do you reckon there?
Oh, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in pretty unstoppable form. I would expect Slab-Head to cause them problems with these one-man congas. But I'm going to go. I think Slab-Head will get one, and then I expect United will win 5 or 6-1. I would have thought. Solskjaer probably get one. Solskjaer probably get one himself.
Lads, come on. But boss, you haven't even got a number on your shirt. Just give me your number. I'll go. Alexis, you're not playing today. Sorry. All right. Mate, and the humdinger. Do you like how I did this? I left this one till the last game of for us to review. Mate, it is Manchester City against Arsenal.
Woof.
Is it really a humdinger in the sense, though, however, that Man City must surely be fuming at the moment. They must be really, really angry. And will Emre be able to see that anger and somehow turn it against Manchester City at their own ground? Mate, could you see an Arsenal 2-0 win here?
No.
Could you see it?
No. Hang on, let me try. No.
Come on, visualize. It's up on the screens.
Mate, I'm visualising it and already City are 4-0 up. So, I'm sorry.
Right.
I tried.
It's not happening. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dave, for giving it your best shot on that one.
Mate, so who are Liverpool
we'll...
playing this weekend then?
Oh, sorry. They must. I think they're on Monday, actually. Hang on a second. Yes, sorry. They're the Monday match. West Ham.
Oh, dear. 3 points guaranteed, easy doors.
3 points guarantee right there. There you go. All right. Well, with that, sorry, West Ham fans. You guys are going to continue on your dismal run. Liverpool are obviously angry, especially with all that snow. Mate, it's there's been so much that's happened in the world of football that we haven't really been able to talk too much about. But such is the way, as always, the way. It's going to be a pulsating weekend of Premier League action. That's for sure. And mate, who knows? Peter Crouch to score against Southampton on his comeback debut.
Guaranteed. Sorry, mate. Guaranteed. Absolute guaranteed. Mate, what will you give me? What will you give me on a Crouch, Llorente, Carroll, Rondon 4-way all to score this weekend? What will you give me on that?
Mate, that's 150 to 1 or something, isn't it? For that, surely.
I would have thought so. Like, I'm calling it the lamppost quadruple. That's what I'm calling it.
Mate, that is a gem. So hang on a second. Let me just write that down very quickly. So Crouchy, yeah,
Llorente,
Crouchy, Llorente,
Rondon,
Carroll, and Carroll to score. All to score, mate. I don't know. I'll run that up with some bookies, see what we got. But I bet you it's somewhere in the region of about 150 to 1. Mate, if it does come to fruition, I'll let you off the Mo Salah bet that we've got riding this season.
Deal.
Because I think you're on a losing streak there on that one. So he's already pretty much almost approached half of the goals he scored last season, hasn't he? He's bang on. Yeah, almost there. So. All right. Well, thank you once again, everybody. This was our first not televised, but videoized podcast, which we will be releasing on the YouTubes as well. Remember to subscribe to us and leave us a review. If you possibly can, telling us how wonderful you thought our podcast was. I don't know why we lack sort of wax lyrical upon ourselves, really, for stuff like this. But we, anyway.
No, it's not the time for self-reflection. You were so close to just closing the podcast out. You were so near.
So, and I'm going for it now. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
3, 4.